How is it going today, my friends? As always, I hope you all are having yourselves a fantastic day. It is time for another trickshotting tutorial. I made one of these a very long time ago, and it was about timing trick shots. So I'm going to link that video down in the description. If you're very new to trickshotting, I highly recommend you watching it. And I'm also going to treat this video as if you are completely new to trickshotting, because it is a frequently asked question as to how I hit my bell cam. Alright, first things first, this question is actually asked. I know it seems pretty obvious, but the sensitivity that you need to be using on whatever game you're trickshotting on, it needs to be the absolute highest. Some people don't know that, so I'm just covering all my bases here. Now, some of you are probably curious as to how I'm playing, so I want to tell you everything. The controller that I play on is an Xbox 360 wired controller. It doesn't have any special paddles. Basically, I've got this little thing right here, plugs into this little adapter, and as you can tell right here, this thing has two things plugged into the bottom. The black one being my Xbox 360 wired controller, and this white cord leads to a PS4 controller. That adapter and that little 4-port USB hub is how I'm using my Xbox 360 wired controller on the PlayStation 4. Now, something really cool about this thing, it's called the Cronus Max. I want you to pay attention. I'm going to hit A one time, and then I'm going to hit up on the D-pad one time. Watch what it does. See how I hit A once and then D-pad once, and it used all of my boost without me pressing it more than one time. That is thanks to this amazing Cronus Max and my homie FaZe replays, and whoever the fuck showed him how to do it. Now, what that allows me to do, it allows me to be boosting up in the air and doing maybe an extra insta swap or two. It is something that I have started using very, very recently. I have only had it for about a month or two now, so I am still getting used to it. Okay, now there's one more thing that you need to know. This is how I hold the controller. My index finger, my right index finger is over Y, X, A, and B. This is called claw. I'm sure all of you know. I started playing claw almost immediately after I started playing Call of Duty because one of my friends knew how to do it, and he was way better than me, so obviously I had to copy him to get better than him, and it just so happens that he was using claw, and it just so happens this is the way that I have always played. It's how I red gun. It's how I snipe sometimes, and it's definitely how I trick shot. Once again, I hold the controller like this, just my right index finger over the buttons. Okay, now you know everything about my controller, how I hold the controller. Now you need to know what I do with the controller. Alright, so what you don't want to do is use your boost right away. So you don't want to jump off and then immediately use your boost like that. You want to do at least 1 or 2 spins before activating your boost, depending on the trick shotting spot that you're going from. So I don't have any bots or anything like that, because I don't feel like getting killed. So let's just say I'm going to be aiming at this fucking white barrel. I do like 1 or 2 spins, maybe even 3. And then I end up initiating the boot. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, holy shit, Carl, I don't know how to fucking time that. That is why I told you about the earlier trickshotting tutorial that I made. There's an entire portion of that video about timing and how I myself learned how to time trick shots. So if you're past that phase already, then you need to be on this video. But if you haven't gotten to that phase, go watch that video and come back. Alright, now I'm just going to tell you little things that I do in Trickshot. There's this thing called NSL. It stands for No Scope Luck, and it also stands for something else. Alright, so I'm going to do a little demonstration. Just do like 1, maybe 2 spins on the ground, then go for my trick shot like I normally would. See? Now what that does, it just makes it look like you spin a little bit more. It makes it look like you did a little bit more. Basically, it just makes the trick shot look better. You don't have to do that in your trick shots, but that's just a little thing that I do sometimes. See, like right here, I'll do like 1 Semtex cancel on the ground. I barely got the shot off there because I didn't use my boost soon enough. If you do too many things and you don't use your boost soon enough, then the boost won't put you high enough in the air to hit the shot unless the guy is directly on the edge. And now just little things to add to your trick shots. Now, this isn't exactly something for beginners, but it does make trick shots look very nice. It's called a varial. It's literally where you just look up in the air and spin. So I just kind of did one of those. You see how that looked? Even though I kind of did it on the NSL, I kind of did it after the NSL as well. And I just honestly, varials are my favorite trick shot. Just a nice little varial. You see what I did at the end there too? The stun cancel. You really do not see a lot of trick shots where, you know, they're just going like this, and then they do a stun cancel for the shot. It's called a silent shot. Back on MW2, if you did that, and you shot like this with a throwing knife, basically the throwing knife would get tilted up and to the right, and the shot would be silent most of the time, if not all of the time. And what you don't see in this game is people shooting like that. Yeah, granted, the reload looks really nice, but you know, every so often, hitting a silent shot is some creamy looking stuff. There's something else that I do. I don't know if it helps hit trick shots, but I'm just telling you everything that I do when it comes to trick shotting. Notice how I have a different class on now. If you ever hit a trick shot with a class, change it up. Whether it's changing the secondary, changing the equipment, the sniper, whenever I hit with a class, I change it. As long as I hit the shot that I wanted to and it wasn't like a leftover or something like that, 9 times out of 10, when I hit with a class, I immediately change it to something else. And then I'll end up hitting a shot with that class pretty soon after. I don't know why, but it's just something that I've always done, and I think it helps, at least me, might help you too. Now I've got the Argus class on. See, changing up your equipment, changing up your secondary, changing up your sniper, just totally changes up the trick shot. See, with that trick shot right there, I didn't even use the D-pad. I just did it like I normally would because sometimes, you know, instinct kicks in and I just do exactly what I used to do. Right there, I used the D-pad, clean as fuck. And it's just a different shot. You don't want to be going for the same shot over and over and over and over and over again, over again, over again, and over and over and over again, like me, because then you never fucking hit it. The thing that happens to me when I don't go for a shot that I've been going for like a very long time, where I go for something totally random, that's the one that hits. And it's frustrating because there's a lot of shots that I've been trying to hit for a very long time. But I think it's because I focus on them so hard that they don't hit. Alright, now I'm going to give you guys a quick little tomahawk trick shot tutorial. Don't only go for tomahawks, just put 1 or 2 on your class. Go for it when you spawn. Don't try to get to a trick shotting spot, just go for a tomahawk from the first place you spawn by. Now, I have the timing down perfectly, so I can just look wherever the fuck I want. I can look down, I can look straight up in the air, and then I can time the tomahawk. But what you guys should do for a beginner, you should do what I used to do on BO2, and you should be looking up in the air already, pretty much at the angle that you need to be throwing the tomahawk, which isn't straight up, but, you know, slightly angled depending on how far you want to throw it. If I wanted to land over here, I want to throw it higher up in the air. So basically, the higher up you aim, the closer it will come to you, just because of the way the tomahawk arc is. So if I wanted to land over here, I'll want to be throwing it almost straight up in the air. So what you want to do, you want to already be looking up in the air at the angle that you want to be at, and you just start going for it. And then it's all about just timing the trick shot. If you got the timing down, then you know exactly how to do it. And look at that, tomahawk landed right over here. See me, I can be looking down like this, looking down like that, and I can still throw it exactly where I want to, just because I've been going for them for so long. I feel like some of you might want a little tip as to how I tomahawk trick shot. That's honestly it. There's a lot of fucking luck. You can throw it right on the exact same spot 30 fucking times, but someone has to be there to catch that shit. Then there's these tomahawks, where you just throw them straight. Those are really fucking hard to time. That's all about just doing it over and over and over and over again until you get the timing down like clockwork. I know it really doesn't seem like a lot of tips, but there isn't a lot that goes into trick shotting besides a lot of time, because that's all it takes to get the timing down, and then that's all it takes to actually hit a trick shot when you get the timing down, because it takes a lot of tries and it takes a lot of time. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you could leave a thumbs up, you know that I would appreciate that way more than you know. Hopefully these trick shotting tips help you out, and as always, my friends, I hope you all have yourselves a fantastic day. A farewell, a goodbye, and a here comes that motherfucking... Woo!